In this video, we're going to learn about unemployment, we're going to learn about the different causes of unemployment, and we're going to learn about what the problems are that unemployment brings with it. In other words, what the costs are. So we're going to start off today by watching a very short video that explains. So our definition then of employment is that it tells us, of unemployment rather, is that it tells us the percentage of the workforce that is not employed. So that's the percentage of the workforce, not the percentage of the population, because the unemployed are those people who are able to work, they're available for work, they're willing to work, but they cannot find a job despite the fact that they're actively looking for work. So when we look at that percentage of unemployment, remember that it's the percentage of people who are able, available and willing to work but who cannot find a job. So it doesn't, for example, include students like yourselves. There are different types of unemployment, each with a different cause, and we're going to look at each of these in turn. They are cyclical, structural, frictional and seasonal unemployment. And again, we have a short video here. Okay, so what we learnt there was about a number of different types of employment. And if you think back to the first video that you've seen this week, which talked about the business cycle, you will remember that at the end we mentioned that we tend to get unemployment when the business cycle is at its lowest point. Because at that low point, that's when aggregate demand is very low. People are not buying so much. Governments are not buying so much, businesses are not investing so much, and as a result, the need for labour is lower. Businesses don't need so many workers, and so they tend to lay them off. So unemployment will often be at its highest at the bottom of the economic cycle, when the economy is in that trough phase. That's cyclical unemployment. In the video, we also heard about structural unemployment, which occurs when some industries decline. And that just happens because of the way that the world changes, really. If everyone is communicating online via video conferencing and so on, there may be less need for business travel. And so people who were previously employed in the travel industry may find that those jobs cease to exist, or there are fewer of them, and those people have to retrain. Maybe they have to retrain for jobs in tech. So whilst that training is going on, those people are likely to be unemployed. And in fact, structural unemployment tends to be the most difficult for governments to get rid of, because often the jobs that people were trained for originally are often in one geographical area, and the new jobs that come along maybe in a different place, and so it's difficult for those people often to retrain for the new jobs that are available. So structural unemployment often hangs around for a long time. The third type of unemployment that was discussed is frictional, and that's really about when people change jobs, or, for example, when students graduate from universities, they begin to look for jobs. They're able to work, they're willing to work, they're actively seeking work, but most of those students won't get a job immediately. So it may be for a few weeks or maybe a few months, they are frictionally unemployed just while they're looking for a job. We know they'll get work, but for a short period of time, they will be unemployed while they're looking. So frictional unemployment occurs when people are between jobs, really. The fourth type of unemployment that hasn't been mentioned so far is seasonal unemployment. And this occurs because certain industries are only busy or only even working during some parts of the year. For example, farming. At harvest time, farms need lots and lots of labour, but at other times they don't. Tourism. Lots of workers are needed in the summer, but not so much in the winter. Of course, unless you're in the mountains, in a ski resort, and then it's the other way round. Lots of workers needed in the winter, not so many in the summer. And construction is similar. So there are many jobs for which demand for workers is seasonal, and therefore people employed in those seasonal industries often find themselves unemployed outside of the season. So those are our four main causes of unemployment. But whatever the cause of unemployment, it comes with a cost to society and a cost to the individuals. So of course, if I'm an individual and I'm unemployed, that means that I lose some income. I don't have money coming in. That's a cost to me. But if I'm not earning, then also I'm not paying tax. And so there is less tax revenue going to the government, and therefore the government would have to either spend less or borrow more. Another problem with unemployment is that it tends to create social problems. People who aren't working can feel alienated from society. They can feel that there's no purpose for them in society, and that our high unemployment often goes hand in hand with rising crime levels and social disorder. And of course, from an economic point of view, we know that if we have unemployed people, then as an economy, we're not producing at our maximum. We're making inefficient use of our resources, because people we can think of in part as being resources. They're sitting at home, they're not working, they're not helping our country to improve, our economy to improve. So we have this loss of human capital. Okay, we're going to end there. There are a few questions now for you to answer.